Welcome everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Karen and I'm glad to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about some herbs, and we're going to be talking about how herbs can be an added value to your plate of food, right? So if some of you are not eating herbs and you're not trying to, I'm going to scoop my camera back just a little bit. Sorry. If you're not eating foods that you're actually using herbs and spices, this may be something you want to experiment with, right? It may be something that you haven't really tried before, but they have great benefits to your health. So, but I am not a doctor or dietitian. Let me read you this disclaimer. The things that I state here are not a cure to disease, and they act in any way to be a medical advice, right? I am not a doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, or herbalist, and always consult your doctor first before you try any new herbs, spices, or anything. It is just, if you need a doctor for medical advice, go to your doctor, right? So I am just a coach who, from my own experience, I share my own experience on here, my own research on here, and to help educate you for purposes only, right? So educational purposes only. And so, yeah, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about herbs. So we're going to talk first about some herbs. We're going to it's kind of a little bit mumble jumbled today because my notes are not like really clear, but I'm just going to give you some of the aspects of my research. So herbs that can possibly heal your body. So herbs can set off a reaction in our gut to get the benefits of herbs. So that's what it does. It does something inside our gut and with the gut lining and all of that to actually stimulate different things. Different herbs are for different things, right? Or spices, same thing. So herbs and spices can add value to your food, especially if you're eating plant-based food. It can add a lot of flavor. It can add just a lot of good, nutrient and added value to your food. So it first originated in India, the oldest country to use herbs. So that is what's known. Then it went to China and Europe and Asia and all that. Ideal self-care tools in your toolbox. So these are ideal tools. So spices and herbs are important for your microbiome. To start with putting it on your food with a normal daily dose and routine. So it's not saying to take these in large quantities. That's not real healthy. You want to use a little bit of herbs and spices on your food when you're cooking, whatever, after you cook, when this food starts to cool down a little bit. Sometimes that way you don't take away the nutritional value is what I've found. And that's from my own experience. And so you probably want to do the same thing, just depending on what it is you're cooking, right? So you can also do a day of tea. You can do some sort of a tea, so you're getting small portions at a time. And to know how much, or how, not how much, but how, which ones that are good for you, it's best to just kind of taste them, and which ones that you are attracted to, and which ones feel good in your gut, right? So when you're first starting out, you want to do just small doses at a time. See if it agrees with you first, right? That would be my recommendation. And then we're going to go on to some things here now that is that I researched, that is from Simon Mills. He is a herbalist. And so we're going to do a little bit of stuff here with him. We're going to first go with probiotic. So what is probiotic? He states that it is living organism. So that's the living organism. That's like when you eat that fermented yogurt or that kefir or kefir milk, that's the living organism. And then prebiotic is the fiber-rich plant foods. And then he also talks about a postbiotic, which a postbiotic, he says, is the spices that you use on the, the foods or the tea or whatever. So that's postbiotics. So I thought that was very interesting because I haven't heard that word before, postbiotics, and that really, really kind of hit home with me that, yeah, you're right. It really is something that you can start using to increase your, increase the content of your meals and things, right? And your teas, and make it have some substance to it, right? So herbs can help with inflammation. Herbs are an added value to your plate of food, right? And eat your food that is in rainbow of colors, he says. So more like the Asian diet, where they have just an abundance of different colors. Like when they eat, they have the greens and the yellows and the orange and the purples and all these different colors of food. And that's how you get these amazing meals that are very nutritious, because each one has different benefits from it, right? So if you eat a variety of different colors, you're getting different nutrients from different things that can help you to be healthier, where you're not just eating the same thing over and over again and you're not feeling better, you're not getting better, because you're not trying new and interesting things, right? So I thought that was pretty cool, and he's right. He's like, eat a rainbow of colors is what he said. So we're going to go on just a little bit more here on him. Let's see. If you can get the organically grown herbs, that's probably the best. And he was also stating that you really don't need that much at a time. And he was saying also that if you eat the organic leaf of an herb instead of like a pressed spice or herb, you're getting less if you're eating just the leaf part of it, right? So you may have to increase that a little bit. But if you're eating more like a spice that's like a turmeric or cinnamon or something like that, those are ground spices. So those are concentrated, right? So you don't need very much at a time. He says for, he recommended this for weight loss. I don't know. But anyway, I haven't tried it. I don't know. But he says that a half a teaspoon of turmeric, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and ginger. So that's what he was saying can shift your metabolic control.
Could you try again?
So maybe speed up your metabolism or something, what I'm understanding. So I'm not sure that I'm correct on that, but that's from what I'm understanding. And it was really interesting too how he was talking about different herbs and spices and things, and talking about how some herbs and spices are cold and some are warm, which means like when you digest them, when they go into your body, they have this either cooling effect or warming effect, right? And the warming effect ones are the ones I think that stimulate like your metabolism and things like that. The cooling ones seem to be, to my knowledge, is that they are more of soothers and more of healers and things like that. That's what I kind of take it as, but I don't know if I'm correct on that either. So don't state me on that. But anyway, that's from what I've understood so far from researching these. And I grow a lot of different herbs and stuff, and it just is so interesting to me, this topic, because it can just go on forever. I mean, it just is so much to learn, right? And it's really cool how they work. It's really cool how from ancient time they've been using these same practices, and they're becoming more and more integrated into our society here in the U.S. And I just think it's just the whole combination of things is just so interesting to me. So let's see what else he says here. So he says like a tea for like a bronchial type thing, he would recommend something like a ginger, cinnamon, and a crushed black pepper for bronchitis type thing, a natural remedy, right? But you know, he's just an herbalist too, so I don't know, but he really knows what he's talking about. But it's just so So interesting. And then he goes on to list a whole bunch of different herbs and what they're good for. We're going to go over some of those. And then he also goes into like black tea reduces inflammation. So I thought that was quite interesting because I just bought a black tea. And I want to show you this black tea. Let me get up. Let me show you this black tea that I bought. And I'm not saying to go buy it or anything. I'm not promoting this product, which I promote other products, but I'm not promoting this product at all. But I bought this black tea to make my kombucha. And so I just want to share with you the container, how nice it was sealed. It was taped up all the way here, and I did have some a while back ago. And it's black, hand-blended black mango scented black tea. So it's pure leaf tea. And then they have a little cute little sticker at the top. I thought this was so amazing. And then look in the inside. So it has this lid that comes off. And then look, it has another lid for added freshness, right? It smells wonderful. But the way they packaged it, isn't it nice? It's just really nice. Like the making a little mess here. Like the label sort of looks like a little bit like kind of old fashioned. And it just like with this added little other lid on here, which is really nice. And the way they packaged it, I thought was just incredible. I just really like, oh my gosh, I'd like to buy some more flavors. Like I want to get a green tea because it helps in weight loss too. I want to get a green tea that I can have. And so yeah, so I just thought that kind of hit home here when we're talking about that. So I'm trying to get a little bit better quality of teas in my collection. So let's see what else he says here. He goes on to say, he says herbs and spices are more than just tasty. They really enhance your health, which I kind of reiterated on that. And he's saying like when you go and you go to the store and you go to buy your spices, he says to buy the ones that are like way back in the shelf, because what they do is they pull all those out and then they replace the spices with the new ones first in the back of the shelf, and then the old ones are in the front. So that was a tip to learn, right? And that tip could be used on a lot of different products as well. So when we go to the store, instead of buying that first one that's right in front of us, take a little more time and buy the ones that are behind it, right? We can get a fresher one, and we can get a date on it that's longer. Shelf life, you know. So you want to think about that too.